All right, good evening, everybody. I wanted to put together a quick video, and I promise I will make this video quick, but to the point. This is a very important video that you're watching right now. I don't normally make videos like this. In this video, I'm going to show you a trade opportunity that potentially can change your life over the next 12 months, and specifically over the next couple of months. Okay. And again, like I said, I don't do these types of videos very often. So when I do this type of a video on YouTube, I want to make sure it's to the point and that you get the information that you need right away. Um, so anyway, we're going to get to it. So basically, what's going on right now is we are getting to the very end of a 4-year cycle in the cryptocurrency markets. Okay. As you guys know, I'm not really a cryptocurrency trader. I mostly make money through trading Forex, use COT report data, sentiment data, and so on to make money in trading. That's my income producing tool. Now, I do make trades on the side that are more longer term based, more swing trade based, and one of them is through cryptocurrency. If you've been following me for the last couple of years, you guys have been hearing me all the time. I've been talking about buying Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. We've been buying Bitcoin since it was back at $16,000 a year and a half ago. I said to buy. A lot of you guys took that trade. I've got a video actually I'm going to post at the end of this to that video where I said buy back then, and I said, hey, Bitcoin's going to get to 125,000 to 150,000 through the end of this cycle. And then once it gets there, guys, it's going to start to crash again. We're now there. Okay. So Bitcoin, as of today, actually, let me actually go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see this. Bitcoin is already at 122,000 as the time at the time that I'm recording this right now. And it did hit just 2 days ago, $126,000, which is remarkable, right? That is a huge, huge, huge move. And Bitcoin has gone up a lot over the course of the last year and a half or so. Now, here's the deal. We are getting to the end of crypto summer. We are literally at the tail end of it. Okay. And so my prediction, just like I've been saying for the last year and a half, Bitcoin's going to top out somewhere between November and December 2025. Right now, as of the time I'm recording this is October 8th, almost October 9th. I'm recording this kind of late. Um, and we're getting to the end. Okay. And I want to prove this to you because I know a lot of people probably are like, I don't even care, or I don't even trade cryptocurrencies. If you're somebody like that, hang on. There's a huge opportunity for you, and I want you to pay attention to this. And don't believe me, like I said, I've done videos on this. The house I'm sitting in right now, I bought with Bitcoin back in 2021 through a Bitcoin trade that I did back in 2020 and held for a year and a half. So I do know what I'm talking about in the cryptocurrency space. And also one thing I will say too, back in 2017, 2018, 2016, when I was first learning about cryptocurrencies, I honestly didn't care. And honestly, I'll be honest, like I honestly don't even really care too much about cryptocurrencies, but I am seeking opportunity and I look for ways to predict markets. Every One of the coolest things about cryptocurrencies, and you'll understand this if you're an investor, is just the importance of how cyclical it is. Cryptocurrency is one of the most cyclical things that you'll ever find, and it's really easy to predict the cyclical nature of it. And I'm going to show you that right now. Before I get any further, I just want to remind everybody as well. I am not a financial advisor. So you should, if you're looking for financial advice, please seek one because I am not. I'm just simply a dude who bought a house with Bitcoin and I don't know what I'm doing. So don't listen to anything I say at all. But if you find it entertaining, great. Enjoy the entertainment of it. But I'm just going to show you what I do personally to make money and how I've made money in the past through cryptocurrencies. And if you want to do it, fantastic. But it's all at the end of the day, a risk that you take on your own. So, all right, let's continue here, guys. So this is an all-time chart on Bitcoin. I just wanted to show this to you. Okay, very important chart. You should get familiar with this. This is an all-time history of cryptocurrencies, and you can see, back here in when we started getting charting data on Bitcoin, you can see basically this goes back to 2012, 2011, and this is on TradingView, by the way, and then you can see the little move that the market made in 2017. Here's the 2021 move, and here we are in the 2025 move right now that we're making. And I guess part of it is an extension of 2024 as well. And one of the things that I want to just share really quickly is that Bitcoin has always, and this is something you can't always say with every asset out there, but you can say it with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has always hit an all-time high, a cyclical all-time high on a November or December, and it's always been every 4 years. It's never been off of that cycle, not even one time. So every 4 years in a November or December, we've always hit an all-time high, and then we've begun what's called crypto winter, where cryptocurrencies go asleep, and basically anybody who invests in cryptocurrencies during that crypto winter basically loses a lot of money, which unfortunately most people do who get involved with cryptocurrencies. So if they would watch videos like this, and again, I'm not a guy who gets out there and just posts crypto content every single day. I'm an investor. I invest for a living. I make most of my money from my own trading and strategies that I do. I don't need to, in fact, I don't even need to post this video. I don't make much money at all from YouTube. I am just trying to share the information. None of what I do is really amazing. I'm not the greatest video editor out there. I'm just trying to help people see what I see in the markets. All right. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm not trying to say I'm the best at this. I'm just trying to help you understand a view that I think everybody who gets into the market should know, especially if you're getting into the cryptocurrency markets, and also especially if this is your first time, right? Because I'll tell you what, since we are getting to November, December, what happens during those months? Thanksgiving comes along, Christmas comes along, the holidays get here. A lot of people jump in, and you're social with your family. And so you're going to hear a lot of people talking about cryptocurrencies at Thanksgiving dinner. You're going to hear people talking about this during the holidays. And grandma's going to wonder if she should be investing in cryptocurrencies because Uncle Joe is talking about crypto, right? Because Bitcoin's going to be hitting an all-time high around Thanksgiving, and people are going to be like, "Isn't this amazing? Look at the cryptocurrency." Anyway, I'm worried about people like that who don't know anything and they're going to just invest in it without having any type of knowledge behind it in the first place. So that's what this is all about. So, real quickly, let me show you how the proof in the pudding of what I'm talking about right here. So, if you actually go back in time to the first ever major crypto rally on Bitcoin, this goes back to November of and December of 2013. Okay. Bitcoin got up to 1200, a little over $1,200 per coin. And that may sound like a very pretty low price, especially today. And it is a low price, especially compared to today. But back then, that was a very, very high price. Bitcoin had never, ever gotten to that price before. And keep in mind, guys, that high came just in between November and December of 2013. If you go exactly 4 years later, to November, December of 2017, here you go. Here's December 11th. It appears to be December 11th. So I think it actually topped out in 2017 on like December 22nd, something like that. So again, back to the November, December, 4 years later, we top out. And then for another year, this thing just crashes. And that crashed like 80%. Then exactly 4 years later, we get to the 2021 rally. And this thing in, again, like I said earlier, November, December of 2021, exactly 4 years later, we hit an all-time high on Bitcoin. It gets to like $69,000. And for another year, this thing just collapses. Then it starts to build its momentum again, which is the one we're in right now. This has been going up since 2022, 2023. And here we are at the end of 2025, October specifically. And I fully expect Bitcoin to hit an all-time high here in the next 60 days. I don't know exactly when in the next 60 days, but it will happen. And again, this is all my opinion. Again, I don't know. Like in my worldview of things, Bitcoin is going to have an all-time high in the next 60 days. Again, will that actually happen? Time will tell. I'm very confident in it. I'm taking financial action against my opinion on this. Okay. Let me further explain. So here we are. It's following this like a book, like this whole concept. In the next 60 days, I believe Bitcoin's going to hit an all-time high. I think it's going to be close to 150. I mean, it's possible you could see it get to 170, which would be crazy. So the question is, a lot of people would ask me, is now a good time to buy Bitcoin? Well, here's the reality. If you that I view. If you bought Bitcoin right now, you better get out in the next 60 days. Otherwise, what happened back here in 2021 is your reality. What happened back here in 2017 into 2018 is your reality, or this is your reality back over here if you zoom into the 2013 rally and then subsequent collapse in 2014. Which, by the way, also like clockwork, I just want to show you one more thing. Exactly a year later, this bottomed out and then it went up for the next 3 years. And then if you go to the 2017 rally and look between 2017 and 2014, this bottomed out in December of 2018 and then it rallied for the next 3 years. And then if you go to the 2021 rally and then you look at that at the end of 2021 for the next 14 or not 14 months, next 12 months, here you are, November of 2022. We bottomed out. That was the bottom of the cycle. And then exactly over the next 3 years, this thing climbed again, just like we're doing all over. So I know a lot of people are speculating, like there's this like news out there, like people are saying, oh, the federal government, they're going to be buying cryptocurrencies because they're trying to do it to consolidate their debt, or they're trying to eliminate their debt by transferring their wealth into cryptocurrencies because it's the new digital gold. Maybe so, but here's the thing: this reality of this 4 year cycle is a real deal, and it has a lot to do with the Bitcoin halving, which is another thing I don't really have a lot. Again, I'm trying to keep this to the point, but if you look at the Bitcoin halvings within 16 to 18 months of every Bitcoin halving, after, so post halving, we've always hit an all-time high on Bitcoin specifically. And then 12 months after that, it pulls back. And it's been like clockwork every single halving. So whether you trade on this or take action on this is up to you. Personally, to me, this is a pattern. This is pattern recognition. I've seen this before. I've traded this before. The last time Bitcoin did this, I bought my house on this move right here. This was my down payment on my house, was that. And on this move, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with the funds this time, but yes, it's a very successful move. But well, I'll tell you what I'm doing with some of the funds this time. I'm actually going to go short on Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that here. So, like I said, here's where we're kind of gearing up to right now. There's this idea out there. A lot of people are starting to start talking about Bitcoin again, and it's going up. It's hitting all-time highs almost every single day. And it's probably going to continue doing that for the next like month or two. You're going to see Bitcoin just keep going up. Okay. And people at Thanksgiving are going to talk about this. People on the holidays, they're going to have some extra money to spend. And people are going to be like, you know what? Maybe I should take that money I got from grandma and put it into Bitcoin. Or grandma's going to be like, maybe I should take my savings and put it into Bitcoin. And it's just terrible. Like, I hate that that's going to happen. And I wish they would watch this video first. And hopefully you can spread the word and maybe share this video with others who need to hear this, because here's the deal. What I picture happening is this, again, this is going to keep going up. People have this idea that rates are coming down and stuff like that. And there's going to be this like hopeful sense of like, oh, assets are going to keep going up. And maybe some assets do. Like, we got gold and silver at all-time highs and stuff like that. Maybe some of those things keep going up. I don't really trade those, so I can't really comment on them too much. But I do trade Bitcoin as far as like swing trading goes. And so I do think Bitcoin is going to keep going up. So again, so I'll tell you this, I'm not buying any more Bitcoin right now. I already bought my Bitcoin 18 months ago when I was telling everybody to buy it. A lot of you guys have seen those videos. That is now done. Okay. I'm now selling my Bitcoin. So this week I've actually already sold almost half my Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And I plan to dollar cost average my exit over the next 60 days. So as Bitcoin keeps going up, every day it goes up, I'm going to sell a little bit more and a little bit more until I have zero cryptocurrencies in the next 60 days. Then what's my plan? My plan is to turn around and start shorting Bitcoin. So my plan is to sell Bitcoin into this when it hits 150, when it probably, I mean, maybe 140, 160, 170. It's not going to 200, by the way. Anybody who's like, oh, Bitcoin's going to 200, not in this cycle. There's only 2 months left. The market cap of Bitcoin would have to nearly double what it's at right now in less than 2 months, guys. It's not happening. Please, like, be reasonable. Okay. So I don't know exactly where it's the top is. So here's how I picture this. Dollar cost average out of my exit. This is what I did last time too. I didn't sell all my Bitcoin when it hit $69,000 in 2021. What I did is I just sold a little bit on the way up, and then I didn't know exactly the top, so I just kind of knew the dates. I just knew that okay, probably November, December is going to be around the top, maybe end of October. So I started selling some and then just every week sell a little bit more and a little bit more until you have no cryptocurrency by the end of the 4 year cycle. And then you go ahead and start shorting. So, one of the coolest things we have right now, and this is like, please listen to this. Did not have this in the last cycle. Over the last like 2 years, there have been several companies, notably like BlackRock, who have come up with ETFs that got approved by the SEC. So, for example, the IBIT ETF was approved, I think like 18 months ago. It was like January, maybe almost 2 years ago now. And this has made it possible for the big boys to get involved into the cryptocurrency markets without directly purchasing cryptocurrencies. The nice thing about this is going to allow you and me to short Bitcoin for those of you that want to do this. Now, again, if you're somebody who's just like crypto for life, I'm never selling Bitcoin. This is probably not your video. You're in a different stratosphere. Like if you're just somebody who's just like I'm a diamond hander for life. I never sell crypto. Okay, you do your thing. Do your thing, man. I'm a trader. All right. I seek opportunities. I seek pattern recognition. I look at the charts. I read the data. That's me. If that's not you and you're just a diamond hander, hold on to your $1,000 of Bitcoin and you're cool. That's you. That's not me. Right. So if you want to make a lot of money, this is what I plan to do. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn around over the next 60 days and I'm going to purchase puts. I'm going to buy puts in the options market on IBIT and a few other different ETFs with expirations that expire. They're pretty much long dated expirations. We're going to go all the way until June and December of 2026 is my plan. So, um, and the reason why I want to purchase these puts is because, again, I do anticipate Bitcoin looking something like this. Let's just say it goes to 150 in the next 60 days. And then fully anticipate Bitcoin getting back to $50,000. Now, again, before you leave this video, a lot of you might look at this and you're like, Bitcoin's never getting back to 50,000. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, guess what? What no people said that back when people said it would never get back to 16,000 after it hit 69,000. People said it would never go below $5,000 again after it hit 20,000. Okay? Look at these moves, guys. Fill this out with me. Please understand the numbers, okay? Look at the high right here back in 2013. It got up to $1,200. The pullback on this was 86%. So if grandma during Thanksgiving listened to her grandson and bought Bitcoin when it was at $1,200, she lost 86% of her money in 12 months. Not cool, dude. Not cool. All right. So this is why we got to do our research, right? Not cool. Okay. We can't do that to grandma. All right. We go on to 2017. Look what happened. Okay. 2017, it gets to $20,000. Look what happened. It gets to 20,000 or just a few bucks shy of 20,000. By December of 2018, this got to down 85%. Again, not cool. Don't do that to grandma, right? We get to 2021. A year after it hit 69,000, which is kind of funny, but I'm not surprised. Okay, and then it got to 76% pullback. So it's a little bit of it's more mild pullback because it's only 76% of it instead of 86. So yes, Bitcoin is definitely not pulling back as far. I mean, historically, each pullback is a little bit less, but think about that. First pullback after 2013 over 20 in the year of 2024, or excuse me, 2014, Bitcoin pulled back 86%. And then in 2018, Bitcoin pulled back 85%. And then in 2022, 4 years later, it pulled back 76%. So if the pattern continues, we should see something between a 70 and 80% pullback on Bitcoin. So hear me out on this. Okay. If Bitcoin gets to 150,000 and it tops out in the next 60 days, what's 70%? Or excuse me, what's if Bitcoin falls 70%, that means what its value at 150,000 would be only 30%, right? So we go times zero point 0.3, you get a Bitcoin that's worth $45,000 in a year. So when I say Bitcoin's getting to 50 grand, I really mean it. Like I really mean we might even go below that. You might see it capitulate below 50 for a little bit and then start to move back up again. Okay? So this is a true reality. And anybody who's like, "No, no, no, this is different this time." It's not different this time. It's not. It's not. Like it's not different. In fact, it might even be worse this time. I have a lot of reasons for this. Macroeconomic reasons why it might be worse this time. Okay, like let me give you another example. How many people have bought like alternative currencies like XRP? How many people who bought XRP are pretty disappointed with the, it's like at $3 or something like that. All the people who said it was going to like $1,000, it didn't, guys. It didn't even get to $5. It didn't get to $4. Right? What's going on? Something's not right. Right? Something's not right. Right? So, I mean, will XRP eventually get there? Maybe. I own XRP. Like, guys, I want XRP to go up too. But like, guys, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real about this. Could XRP get to $10? Yeah, totally. But I don't know if it'll happen in this cycle. It could. I think more likely it'll get to $5 or $6 in the next 90 days because usually I've noticed XRP takes a little longer in the cycle to play out. So it might like Bitcoin goes up, let's say to 150 and then it starts to pull back. You might have another month where XRP does good, right? But is it going to $1,000 in the next 90 days? No. Is it going to $20 in the next 90 days? No. Let's get real here, right? And anybody who does that, I'm just telling you right now, you're going to see a 50-cent XRP again. You're going to see a 50-cent XRP before you see $1,000 XRP. You're going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin before you see $1 million Bitcoin. Okay. Just like we saw a $16,000 Bitcoin before we saw a $100,000 Bitcoin. It's the same concept, right? Like, and anyway, I know some people like don't care and they're like, well, you're stupid, Steve, or you don't get it. It's fine. Like, you don't have to make money. It's fine. You can be where you want to be. I'm just trying to speak to the people who want to trade well and actually understand some stuff about the markets, right? Okay, so like you're basically saying if you say Bitcoin's not going to go down 70%, you're basically saying that somehow this time is totally different and that's not going to happen again and it's impossible. Now, I will say, could Bitcoin go down to 50,000 and then over the next 3 years by 2028, 2029, could it get up to a quarter million, a half a million? Yeah, totally. I actually believe that. Totally. I'm with you. But it's going like uh, there's going to probably be $1 million Bitcoin someday. I agree. So don't get mad at me for dissing on Bitcoin. I think it will get there, but it will go to 50,000 before it goes to 1 million. Trust me on this one. Okay, like I've done this before. Unless you've bought a house with Bitcoin like I did, then I think I can say something on the matter. All right. So, um, yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there. So anybody in the comments that wants to be like, "Oh, you don't know anything," it's like, well, then show me the house you bought with Bitcoin. All right. Oh, you can't? Okay, so let's just help each other. Let's help each other figure this out. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so anyway, trying to shut down those comments before they get crazy in there. So, and maybe those of you that are real, like you understand this stuff, maybe you can help in that comment section. That would be great. So, it's actually one of the reasons why I don't like doing these videos all too often is because I think a lot of people get offended when their pride gets like offended. And it's like, guys, that's like if you have an ego in trading, like you're just not going to be successful. You have to be able to understand stuff and be willing to listen to other people that have studied this stuff, right? So, and that's why I listen to other people. Like that's why I read your comments. Like I'm trying to understand. Like don't just give me like one sentence saying like, "Hey, crypto's not good," or crypto's good and you're dissing on cryptocurrencies. It's like I'm not dissing on crypto. There's a very bright future for cryptocurrencies. I very much believe in it. I used to not actually. I used to be somebody who dissed on cryptocurrencies. I'm just trying to help people understand that there's a cyclical nature to cryptocurrencies that perhaps is even better than the cyclical nature that you find in the equities markets, better than what you find in Forex futures, maybe even in real estate. And what makes that so awesome for somebody who's trying to invest is it makes things very easy and less risky to invest in. I actually view this Bitcoin trade that I'm about to make as one of the least risky things that I'll do this year, but with the most upside provided as well. So, so here's what I'm going to show you guys. So here's my game plan.
Hey traders, it's Steve from the future. I hope you have enjoyed this video so far. If you are getting value out of this video, be sure to hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and share your trading thoughts. I read all the comments, so feel free to ask any questions you have there too. On a side note, I host live trading calls like this one you are watching every day. Some of my biggest trading secrets I share exclusively to just the members in my program. I host these live trading calls every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I also host a basic training webinar every Monday for the newer traders and the regular COT report and sentiment trading webinars every Wednesday night at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern for the advanced and aspiring traders. All of these calls are recorded and promptly posted on the members' trading calendars at the conclusion of each call in case your schedule does not permit you to come to the live call. All of my members have complete access to the scanner. We call it Steve Scanner. This is an institutional grade trade alert scanner that picks the direction of the week on all 28 major currency pairs and includes trading instruments like gold, silver, NAS 100, US 30. Just in the last 90 days, I have made over 3,000 pips just taking the top trade signals from the scanner at the beginning of the week and then just holding those trade alerts until Friday. If you want access to the scanner, you can start a 14-day free trial with the join link in the description to get started. Lastly, if you really want to be a full-fledged VIP member of my program to get access to things like the basic training course, live signals channel, Steve's scanner, trading calendars, and the one-on-one calls with me throughout the month, you can use code YouTube50, that's YouTube50, no spaces at checkout, and save $50 on your first month. Again, just click the link in the description below and apply that coupon to become a VIP member, and I look forward to helping you with your inevitable trading success going forward. Now, back to the video.
I asked ChatGPT for some help here. So I basically asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, if Bitcoin is at $125,000 today, IBIT, which is a spot ETF that BlackRock made and got approved last year on Bitcoin, and it's at $70, where will IBIT be in December of 2026 if Bitcoin falls to 50K per coin? With it, and then I asked, with a 10K investment in IBIT puts, so options, right? At 50K strike expiring in December of 2026, I can buy 20 contracts because about right now to buy one contract put on IBIT at 50K strike is like $500 or somewhere around there. So that's why I put in 20 contracts. How much money would we make in this scenario? So anyway, it just kind of affirms what we were saying. And then this is basically what we're expecting. So a $28 IBIT share price by December of 2026. Now, if that's the case and you have a strike price at $50 that expires in December 2026 and Bitcoin does get to $50,000, which subsequently would give you approximately a $28 IBIT, then you're basically looking at $44,000 of profit off of that, off of a $10,000 investment. Now, the cost of this is going to be like $10,000 in premiums to be able to buy a put contract or 20 put contracts that expire that far. So they're a little bit more expensive, obviously. Um, but so your net profit's still $34,000 on that. So what I'm saying is you have an opportunity with like a $10,000 investment. This is my plan, except I plan to do this with over $100,000 to make a 340% return. So if I put in $100,000 into it, I expect to make $440,000 with a net profit of $340,000. So here's the deal. I'm not going to just buy 50K strike price. My plan is to buy the June expiration as well and the December expiration. That way I can kind of stagger my costs um, and my expirations into two different expiration dates. And then I also plan to ladder or stagger the strike prices. So if IBIT's at $70 right now, I might buy a little bit more intrinsic value by buying at the current price, buying puts at the current price. And then I plan to stagger them like every $5, probably until about $40, $35. And what this will do is that some of it will be more intrinsic value, the ones that are closer to the current price, and some of them will have more opportunity to make more money. They're more lotto tickets, if that makes sense. I wouldn't call it like a lotto tickets, but yeah, if the market really does get down to $28 per IPIT, you'd be looking at huge profits and you could afford more contracts if you bought the ones that were further out in price. So like $35 strike, $40 strike, those are going to be less expensive. You'll make more money on those. So that's the game plan. And I do think I'll be able to average about I think I'm going to get like a 300% return on this trade. It's going to take about a year, okay? 6 months to a year, but I do think a 300% return is very much likely through options here. So I'm very excited about this, as you can tell. And but yeah, that's and here's the thing about options for those that don't know how options work. If I am wrong, I will lose my investment. So if I put $100,000 into it, I would lose the $100,000. That is the risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because um, I've done this before. This isn't my first rodeo with Bitcoin. I've done this type of a trade. I haven't played the short side yet. I will be honest on that. I've only done the long side trade the last two cycles, but this time I'm feeling very, very confident with the bear trade. And again, if Bitcoin falls 70%, which historically it's actually been worse than that in the following year after an all-time high, then again, we should be looking at a very, 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 very successful trade. And I'm very excited about it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But I hope this makes sense. So when you look at this again, this is an all-time chart on Bitcoin. Again, it follows a 4-year cycle. Okay. And every 4 years in a November, December, we had an all time high. And then the year after that is carnage in the Bitcoin market. It's always carnage. And so what happens is a lot of people start to buy Bitcoin when it starts in this euphoric era. We're entering euphoric era right now. And again, it's like terrible timing because the one time you're going to see your family all year long is when this happens. It's almost like it was meant to happen this way. It's like to entice all these people at Thanksgiving dinner to put all their savings into Bitcoin. And it's just in time for it to collapse. This is also, by the way, how you're going to make the worst enemies at Thanksgiving dinner because the next time they see you next year, they're going to be like, so you remember how you told me to buy Bitcoin? Well, yeah, I lost 75% of my money or 80% of my money on that trade. Guys, don't do that, right? So, especially if you're somebody that like diamond hands cryptocurrencies, if you're somebody who just like never sells because that's just your mentality, you really have no business telling grandma to buy crypto then if that's your mentality because basically you haven't taught them that the last four times Bitcoin has been at these highs, it's fallen 86%. And so, unless we can honestly tell grandma that Bitcoin has the potential to fall 86% from its all time highs, we shouldn't be telling her to buy anything, right? So we just got to be responsible. We got to help people understand these risks before we get into it. So right now, again, Bitcoin has been on a tear for the last, since November of 2022. It's been on a tear to the upside. That is about to change. We are entering a bear cycle in the next 60 days. And I fully plan to be in a six-figure put option position on IBIT that if the trade works well, I'll make nearly a $500,000 on the trade. And again, I will make another video a year from now and I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing with this one. I'm going to point to the videos at the end. There's like a card where it has the video that you can go look at. I'm going to point to this video. I'm going to do this all over again. So, but yeah, it's a pretty cool opportunity. And even if you just had like, I don't know, like even if you just put $1,000 into it, that's still a great trade because we're looking at a 300% return potential in just 1 year. I mean, this doesn't come every single day where you get such a clear-cut trade opportunity. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Like, you can do what you want to do. Um, no comment anybody gives me is going to change my mind on this. Unless you can show me data that backs it up. Like if you're just like throwing comments out there, I'll read it, but I don't care. But if you want to be like logical with me, if you want to share your, executive opinion and you've got something that's like, hey, Steve, you should really look into this. Thanks for sharing, but you should really look into this. That's the stuff I'm really going to give a second thought to because you're being polite, right? If you're being polite and you're like, hey, um, like, just don't go ape man on me, and I won't do that on you either. Just send me what you've got. Let's help each other succeed in trading, and I'm happy to help you guys too. But I do want to share this because we are entering an interesting time, and I think there's going to be a sense of people looking to invest, especially as rates come down. And I think a lot of people might dip their hands in cryptocurrencies for the first time at a very inconvenient time. Now, if you told grandma, like, hey, if you buy Bitcoin right now and wait till 2029 or 2030, you might be able to do okay. You might, she might be able to succeed, but she's going to have to wait a 70% drawdown to get there, right? So we don't want to put her through that situation, right? We don't want to put you through that situation, right? So, all right, guys. So that's my game plan. Buy IBIT puts, stagger them for the June expiration of next year and December expiration of next year, and let her rip. And then have diamond hands on that trade. Let that thing go. I mean, I plan to let it go all the way to expiration on that trade. So it'll be fun. Um, Let me know if you guys plan to do it too. Let me know. Anyway, we'll make more videos and update this as we go. But thanks for coming, guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And we'll see you guys in the next webinar.